I said, why are you so happy? And he said, because I love life. He said, I love you. He said, okay. He said, I love me. He said, I love it all connected. And so he really was the inspiration initially behind the book. So as I went to write it and started writing it, I originally had the idea of a male bus driver, but then it came to me, no, it's not a guy, it's a woman, and her name is Joy. And I had a vision of her, what she looked like. And once that happened, and that's how I write. I get visions, I get ideas, I get divine inspiration from God's mouth to my ears, and words just come, inspiration just comes. I wrote the book in 3.5 weeks of just every day walking and practicing gratitude, coming back, and then writing. And so the 10 rules came from those walks. It came from just, how did the characters come about for, Twilight series and all that, Hunger Games. Think about all those ideas. And where do those come from? So I think it just comes from that place where you become the conduit where these ideas come from, and your job is just to share it with the world. So I really think Energy Bus was meant to be shared with a lot of people. That's why it's reaching so many. I was just sort of the conduit for that to happen.
Hi, I'm Sasha. My question is, what is your favorite, or not favorite, but most inspirational rule, if you had to pick one?
I had to pick one. It's like saying which one of my kids is my favorite. I do have it, no, I'm just kidding. So I would say no energy vampires allowed. And I know that may say, well, the negative, I really believe it's negative people that hold us back so often in our lives. And negative sabotage a team. And the most important thing you can do as a team is to say we will stay positive together on our journey. We will not allow negativity to sabotage our team. Don't be an energy vampire. It's not okay to be an energy vampire. It's not okay to negatively sabotage your teams. And once everyone focuses on the positive, everyone comes together, everyone decides, you know what, I'm not going to be a vampire. It's amazing what happens when a team does that. I worked with the University of Georgia football team 3 years ago. Mark Richt had everyone read the Energy Bus. I spoke to the team, and they lost the first 2 games. And after they lost the 2 games, I thought I ruined them. I sent Coach a text. I said, Coach, I still believe in you guys. He said, John, the guys are staying positive. They're still on the bus. In years past, we've allowed energy vampires to sabotage our team, but not this year. This year, we will not allow it. In their big meeting room, they put a huge picture of an energy vampire on the wall. Anytime one of the players was being a vampire, they took the player's picture, they put it on the wall. No one wanted to be on the wall. And so I really think it's a great message of, and they went on to win the next 10 games in a row, by the way. 10 games, made it to the SEC championship. Great example of a team that stays positive together, wins together. So I think it's my favorite rule. I think fueling the ride with positive energy is also great. And I love loving your passengers. But also, being the driver of your bus is so important. I think that's where it all begins, because if you don't decide to be the driver and you don't take the wheel, then you'll never take control of your emotions and your thoughts and your beliefs and your life. You control the outcome of your life in many ways by how you think, how you believe, what you believe, and what you do on a daily basis. So it's a very important message.
Hello, I'm Shannon.
Hi, Shannon.
I have a question on how do you deal with energy vampires in a positive way?
You love them. You love them, you encourage them, and you talk to them, and you let them know that they're being negative in a positive way. You hope that they'll be positive enough to be able to listen to it and own it. You do it in a way that says, I care about you, and I want you to be the best you can be, and I want you to be the best you can be for our team. And if if you're more positive, you're going to help us be better. You're going to be the best that you can be. So I think that's the way you encourage them. You give them a copy of the Energy Bus if they haven't read it, and hopefully they'll read it. Most people, when they read it, see themselves as a vampire if they are one. Most of the people do recognize it. Some don't. Those are the real diehard energy vampires. They don't see their reflection in the mirror. So they look in the mirror and they don't realize they're a vampire. They think everyone else is the negative one. Those are sometimes the most dangerous kind. If they're not willing to change, they're not open to change, and you try and help them, and you love them, and you support them, you do everything you can. If they don't, then sometimes as a team and as a group, you have to let them off the bus. Now, if they're a member of your family, you're home for the holidays, and you're at Thanksgiving, and they're always negative, well then, you know, I'm not saying you should kick that person off the bus, but just stay away from them as much as you can. And that's something I do often.
Hi, my name's Ariel. So I was reading some of your blogs online, and I was wondering what kind of goals you currently have set for yourself.
You know, I've been talking about goals, and I have to admit, I don't have a lot of goals. You know, I don't have number goals. I don't want to sell. I mean, I'd like to sell 1 million copies of the Energy Bus would be fun. I believe it will. I mean, we're approaching that now. It's been 7 years, and it's just taken off the last couple. So that would be cool. But I don't really have goals in terms of like, you know, I want to be a New York Times bestseller, and I want this, and I want that. I really just want to continue the work that I'm doing. I want to continue to make a difference. I want to continue making an impact and helping as many people as possible. I really believe in purpose-driven goals, not number goals. I believe as a team, if you really have a purpose and you focus on your purpose, the numbers will just be a byproduct of you living and sharing that purpose. So if your purpose is to get up every day and be your best and bring out the best in others, I believe great things will happen. You know, as part of these questions in our talk today, one thing I definitely want to get across to you all is that there are 3 things that you can control every day. 3 things. I'm making sure I have 3 fingers there. The 3 things are 1, I thought that was funny, your attitude, your effort, and your actions to be a great teammate. Your attitude, your effort, and your actions to be a great teammate. If you have a great attitude, if you give maximum effort, and you take actions every day to be a great teammate, you communicate to your team, you are there for your team, you're committed to your team, you become connected to your team, you care about your team, you become positively contagious around your team, you become a big dose of vitamin C instead of a germ. You do those every day, the outcome will take care of itself. So I really feel like for me it's just about the process of making a difference, inspiring others, and I really believe if I do that, then good things will come, and I really trust that God has a bigger plan for my life, bigger than I could think about. Because everything I've already thought about, it's been bigger than I could ever imagine than what I ever expected. So.
Hi, I'm Molly. I was wondering if there are any new rules now that the book is out that you would add to the list?
That's it. What's funny? Whenever there's new rules and stuff, that just becomes another book. So really, when I wrote Soup to me was all the things that I would have put in the Energy Bus too. So I know I'm writing a book called The Energy Bus Rides Again, but I didn't want to ruin the Energy Bus as by itself. I really think sometimes you come out with sequels, and Rocky V wasn't a good movie, and Rocky IV wasn't a great movie. Although Rocky II was really good, but I think if you have, I wanted to come up with something different, but also share things that I would have put in it. So to me, Soup is everything that I would have added to the Energy Bus from a culture standpoint and building a great culture. And then my newest book, The Carpenter, comes out in May, and the main character, The Carpenter, Michael, is actually George's brother. And so you'll find every one of my books, they're all connected. So the Energy Bus, Joy, her son, Martin, is the main character in Training Camp. And then Coach Ken in Training Camp, his daughter is the CEO of Soup, who has to turn around a soup company. And then Joy makes an appearance in Soup. So all the books you'll find when you read them all, that somehow they all connect, except the shark and the goldfish. There's no issue with that. But every one of the other books is connected somehow. And that was by accident. I really didn't intend that initially. I was writing my second book, The No Complaining Rule, and it hit me, the nurse is Joy's sister. And then from that moment on, I just, seemed to make connections. Then I was writing training camp, and it hit me, oh, he's Joy's son. And it wasn't something I intended, it was like an accident, but then something I just built on.
Okay, this is Mallory, the assistant coach. Do you have any suggestions on how to maintain a positivity with a team that's very up and down? Like how to keep riding the wave?
Yeah, I think it needs to be a habit, and it needs to be part of who you are and build into your culture. So if everyone read The Empty Bus, does everyone buy into it? First of all, give me a yes if everyone does.
Well, louder, come on.
Yes.
Doesn't sound like it. So, we get 3 again.
Yes.
So, honestly, if everyone buys in, it has an amazing impact. Not because of me and not because of the book. It's neither me or the book. It's really you. It's your decision to decide to be positive as a team. And once each person decides to stay positive and bring that positivity to practice every day and to each other every day, that is when it really works. So the key is then to make sure you're supporting each other, encouraging each other, and every day you have something positive to focus on. Maybe it's a positive message. Maybe it's something on the wall. Maybe it's the practice. It's going to be, what can we do today to be our best? But every day it's a focus on being positive. And you can give a Chief Energy Officer award out. You can give a Joy award out. I mean, there's so many things that teams have done. You can take a manila envelope. Each person on the team has a manila envelope. That's your bus tank. So that's your energy bus. And you decorate it, you draw it, and then you have index cards in the locker room. And then you can take it, write a little note of positive encouragement, which is the fuel, and you put that into your teammates' manila envelope that they can read. It could be a note of appreciation, it could be a note of gratitude, it could be a note of encouragement. Those are just simple things that you can do to keep it going. But the important thing is for everyone to say, you know what, I'm going to commit to this day in and day out. And if you do, I mean, it's that simple. Attitude, effort, actions to be a great teammate. If you focus on those 3 things every day, be positive, it's going to be a great year. It's going to be a really enjoyable year, and I believe successful. And that may not mean you win every game. Successful may not mean, you have a winning record. I don't know what your record was last year. But I do know that it will be successful in terms of you'll get better, you'll improve, you'll grow together as a team, you'll reach your dreams and do things that you didn't think were possible. That's what I'm talking about.
Hey John, my name's Adam. I'm on the athletic staff here. I was wondering how you balance being positive with being corny, like you mentioned in the book.
Yeah, some people, on Amazon and stuff, they'll say, it was corny, but I wrote the book. Or, I never thought Energy Buzz was corny when I wrote it, but then some people thought it was. But yet, even the people who thought it was corny, a lot of them can't deny that there was, something that went on with it. So I think that it's only corny if you believe it's corny. I had a woman tell me that when she saw me speak at the Governor's Conference for Women, she thought my idea of taking a walk of gratitude was really corny. But then she started doing it. And then she said a month later, wow, Teddy, you just got our life. So I think saying, today's going to be a great day, you say it out loud, that can be perceived as corny. Getting everyone to say yes might seem corny. But you know what? You have to be a little crazy to be a big success. You have to be a little crazy, a little out there to just say, you know what, I'm just going to go for it, be who I am, I'm going to be my best, I'm going to have fun doing it. I'd rather be fun and corny than miserable and negative. So I think that's how you balance it. Anyone disagree with that?
Hi, I'm Claire, and I'm a sophomore on the lacrosse team, and I wanted to know, what is the biggest thing you can do to help you not be in your own head or be your own worst enemy? Okay,
Great question. Best advice I ever heard, Dr. James Gills, the only person on the planet to complete 6 double Ironman triathlons, 112 miles of riding your bike, 2.4 miles of swimming, 26.2 miles of running. 24 hours later, you do it again. The last time he did it, he was 59 years old. So I asked him how he did it, and he said it was was simple, really? I said, simple, really? He said, yes. He said, I've learned to talk to myself instead of listen to myself. He said, if I talk to myself, I can feed myself with the words and the encouragement I need. If I listen to myself, I hear all the fear, all the complaints, all the negative, and all the doubts. I hear I'm too old, I'm too tired, there's no way I can finish this race. And so he would talk to himself, repeat himself with these words that kept him going. So I really believe we have to talk to ourselves. I mean, during a game, God, let's go for it. Come on, you can do it. You got to talk to yourself. If you want to say it silently, you can. But it's important that you're filling your mind with positive thoughts, and you're feeding the positive dog and weeding the negative dog. Every day, best thing we can do to not feel worse heavy. Weed the negative, feed the positive. I really believe that so much of our failure and lack of success is that we don't feel worthy. We just don't feel worthy. And I think people say, you know what, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am here. I believe everyone is a child of God, that you are here, and that makes you worthy. And so you are worthy. And if you know you're worthy, then every day you can just be your best and let God do the rest. That's my belief.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie. I'm a sophomore, and I watched a documentary called The Secret, and it goes along with passion, and I saw that you also were a part of it somehow. So, how did you come about the law of attraction?
Well, I wrote The Secret, and I actually wrote get into books for The Secret. So the law of attraction has been out a long time. But to me, the law of attraction goes all the way back to, the beginning of me. It goes back to the Bible, as a man thinketh. And the idea is that what you think about, you create. What you think about, you attract into your life. Now, I don't think it's perfect science, because I think that some of us get sick and we get ill and bad things happen to us, and I don't believe anybody personally attracts those things into their life. Like you attract the illness into your life because of your thoughts. People will say that. I don't believe that. I do believe everybody's on a journey, and I believe that our positive thoughts help attract great things into our life. I do believe that. So I believe the more we are positive, the greater we increase our chance of great things happening, of success. The more we look for the good, the more we find it. You buy a new car, you start seeing that car everywhere on the road. You start thinking positive things, you start to experience more positive things in your life. You start to attract more positive people. So I just believe that everything is energy when you really think about it. When you look at science and you look at our bodies, everything is energy. Einstein told us that. So when you know that everything is energy, then energy can attract energy. We're really energy beings in an energetic universe. And so you can understand how that could be a framework for the things that we can believe and attract. So I just found the more I believe positive things, the more I attract positive things, the more I put it out there, that's when my life started to change. The more I changed my thinking from negative to positive and really started to focus on putting that positive energy out there and belief out there, that's when really things started to turn around for me. And I experienced that with positive. Same thing. Hope that makes sense.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm a freshman on the lacrosse team. I was wondering how long does it take you to come up for ideas for your books? Or does it just hit you all at once?
It takes me about 3.5 weeks to write each book, but the ideas will just come. I know the next 2 books I'm going to write. I already have those, visions for those in my head. So I'd say 9 or 10 of the books have come to me within a year of just ideas. So then I write them down, and then I know that I'm going to write them. And then it's just about when the right time, when I'm supposed to write them, and then it just happens. So each book sort of just seems to naturally progress when I'm supposed to write it. So yeah, so The Carpenter will be my 10th book. And I never wrote before the other class. I wrote 2 other books right before that, but before that, those 3, never wrote anything.
Just give a minute, they're walking up, they can ask a question from one of the meeting if they can't see us.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Cassie. I'm a freshman. And I was wondering, I'm figuratively they are on your team? How would you go about that?
Can you? You're asking, can you kick them off your bus?
No, more like how.
Do we have someone in mind? That's what they would do as a team, leadership, captains, coaches, come together. Who's the issue, who's the problem, who's the vampire? Talk to the person. Be loving, be supportive, really be there for them. Give them a chance to get on the bus. Really give them a chance. And that person can change, you can turn around. Give a chance. If they don't, then they need to get on another bus. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I think it's pretty simple, I really do. I think we make it complicated. Let's give them a chance. Let's talk to them, let's love them, let's encourage them. And then it's up to that person to really decide to change. And they can change if they want to. And if they don't, well then they're only sabotaging the team. So no matter what you do, you cannot allow one person to sabotage an entire team. One person can't make a team, but one person can break a team. Remember that. And so it is important to deal with that one person. Right? If you give a chance and you let them off. And how? Don't run them over with the bus. Don't run them over. Just politely say, you know what? We think that there's another bus that's meant for you. And you know what? When you get it together and decide to really, become a positive influence, we would welcome you with open arms.
Hey, this is Adam again. I've got a little bit of a two-part follow-up to vampires getting off the bus. Have you ever had to kick a vampire off your bus? And has there ever been someone that you felt like that you wrestled with kicking off your bus because of the other contributions they were making to your team?
I've had to kick people off the bus. I work with the Atlanta Falcons for the past 6 years. Every year, Mike Smith, the head coach, will have to kick a few people off the bus. Mark Rick had to kick a few people off the bus in Georgia. Work with Clemson football. There's always a few people that don't get on and have to be let off. And I've had a lot of companies, wherever I speak at companies, there's always a few people at big companies where they are let off. And you know what? Everywhere I've been, it's always been a good thing. It's always been great for the team and the organization, and everybody's happier. People are like, oh my God, we let go of that vampire, and everyone's just happy to come to work now. And it's amazing how it makes everything different. So one, yes, I've had to, other people have had to. What was the other follow-up part?
Hold on, he's coming.
The other follow-up was if there was someone that you really wrestled with kicking off the bus because they were making other good contributions.
If someone's an energy vampire, then no matter what, I've had a real estate company who had to let go of their top performer, and their number one performer, who was making the company a lot of money. They let him go, and they had to. And in doing so, the whole company did better in the long run. And so even though they were making a positive, Terrell Owens, as a football player, remember, he made a lot of contribution, but he was also a vampire that brought a lot of negativity to the locker room. So I think first and foremost, if you're sabotaging the locker room, then I don't care what contribution you're making on the field, that's not okay. You win the locker room first, and then you win on the field. And if you have talent, and you're a good player, and you're not a positive influence in the locker room, then I say shame on you. Because you know what? You have a gift. And it's your job to bring your best and to bring your best to your team every day. You have an opportunity to make a positive difference. And your attitude now and the person you are now will set you up for such success later on in life. Your teammates will be telling stories about you 20 years from now. Remember that. They will be telling stories about you. Which story do you want them to tell? Wherever I go, I've met with different friends in different cities that I've played lacrosse with at Cornell. And I continue to have these great interactions with people, all because of the experiences I had in college. So 20-something years later, I'm still having the benefits of those relationships. really important to be the kind of person that you want to be your best now that will set you up for success later on. The purpose of sports, you know, we're not going to be professional athletes, most of us, right? So the purpose of sports, I believe, is to make us a better human being. And as we become better people, you know, sports is a huge influencer in that. The lessons I learned playing lacrosse, the challenges I faced, the adversity I faced, being a team, rejection, failure, having to overcome, not being a starter, having to fight for a starting position, all those things prepared me for a life where my book would be rejected 30-something times. The Energy Bus was rejected 30-something times. But I had already been told that I wasn't good enough. I had already been told that I would never make it in other areas of my life. So I learned not to let someone's opinion of me define me when I played sports, and that helped me as a writer. I got a few more minutes and then I gotta go. I got one more Skype tonight.
This is Lauren again. What is your favorite or best success story from your book, The Energy Bus?
It's hard to think of one. There's been a lot of great ones, but I mean, the Atlanta Falcons, they were 4-12. Mike Smith became the head coach. The Energy Bus had just been out a year. He read the book and had me speak to the team, and they went from 4-12 to 11-5, making the playoffs that year. The Jacksonville Jaguars the year before went like, you know, 6-10, and they went 11-5 and made the playoffs. That was the first coach to ever use the Energy Bus, was Jack Del Rio that year. So I'd say those were pretty exciting success stories. And then, you know, meeting with Doc Rivers with the Celtics. Doc Rivers gave all the players the Energy Bus. So that was pretty cool. And then the U.S. Olympic basketball team, Kobe and LeBron, all those guys, they were all given a copy. I literally had to sign a book for each player, so it was pretty weird to write like LeBron and sign with the Kobe and kind of knowing that they were going to get the book. So I think those are pretty cool. So those were exciting success stories.
Hi, this is Natasha. This is the last question.
Okay.
How would you help yourself in becoming a vampire, and how do you best suggest staying positive even when it seems like everything's like falling apart in your life?
So every day you decide to feed the positive thought. Every day you choose a positive perspective. Every day you talk to yourself instead of listen to yourself. If you're facing a challenge, you look at that challenge as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to get better. Every day you get up and write what you get to do today, not what you have to do. I get to come to practice. I get to be my best. I get to play on this team with these great girls. I get to be part of this team. And I even get to go through these struggles and become better because of them. So every challenge is an opportunity. Every loss, L-O-S-S, L-O-S-S, stands for learning opportunity, stay strong. So every loss is a learning opportunity. I stay strong, I'm going to come back better. So that's the process. It's an appreciation every day for what you have and what you get to do. Because, you know, so many people can't even play lacrosse. So many people are injured. So many people don't even get to go to a college to play. Many people wish they were in your shoes. And so it's that appreciation and gratitude that changes everything. So every day you're feeding the positive dog with a positive perspective. And then you're telling yourself a positive story. Every day you see yourself in a movie. Every person is living a movie, I believe. And you have to decide what movie it is. Is it a drama? Is it a mystery? Is it a love story? Is it a horror story? I hope not. Is it an inspirational tale? And see, I think you need to choose an inspirational tale or an adventure where, you know what, you're going to get knocked down. You're going to have days where things don't go right. We're going to have setbacks. Every one of us will have those setbacks. But it's how we respond to that. As the hero in the story, the hero must overcome adversity and challenges in every great movie, right? Every great movie we love, the hero has to overcome something to achieve what they want. But if you didn't have to struggle with a challenge, there'd be no story. You wouldn't watch the movie, right? It would be boring. Well, you have to know that your challenges are just part of your movie. They're just part of your story. Without struggle, there's no triumph. Without setbacks, there's no feeling of accomplishment and victory. So just know that everything you go through in life is just part of the journey to become all that you're meant to become. And I ask people, hey, did you become stronger from your challenges? Everyone raises their hand. I mean, ask me about my challenges. It led me to do the work I do now. It led me to write this book. It led me to now work with others. If I didn't go through my own challenges, I couldn't be the kind of person that actually teaches and shares with others and helps others. And so I'm now able to help so many because of my own challenges. And, I've been sort of mentoring Bailey O'Brien. Bailey was a diver at BU. And, in the swim team, and she had stage 4 cancer when I spoke at Boston University to all the athletes. And right after I spoke, she was leaving to go to Mexico for experiential and experimental treatment. So I sent her all my books, to the athletic director, because he told me about her situation, and she's now in remission. I mean, she's now in remission. I don't think many of us have faced a challenge quite like that. But Bailey reminded me that bad things happen to good people. But good people with great faith and resolve, they're able to overcome it and do great things with it. And now she's speaking to schools. She's speaking to athletes to share her message with others. So again, whatever you're going through, it's an opportunity to get better. So I hope that's how you throughout the year stay positive for your challenges, stay positive for each other. Attitude, effort, actions to be a great teammate. 3 F's, fun, faith, and fearless. Have fun, play lacrosse, it's meant to be fun. Have faith, expect great things to happen, and be fearless. Don't worry about the outcome. Just give your best in the moment, that's all that matters.
Thank you, John, I really appreciate you.
All right. I hope it made a difference, guys. Tweet at me if it did, at John Gordon 11. At John Gordon 11. So tweet at me if there's something you took from this.
Thank you.
Okay, see ya. Bye. See you next week.